Welcome to Level Up with Kelly and Jay. Elevate your life and your business. Get ready for transformative conversations and powerful insights. Let the show begin.
Hey there.
Hey, what's up, Kelly? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Welcome to Level Up Podcast.
Absolutely. We're excited to help you all elevate your life and elevate your business. Obviously, between us, you and I, we want to help elevate each other. I'm excited for this time because you're going to make me better. And as a husband, dad, father, all those things.
Iron sharpens iron, right? And so I think that when this whole idea came together, Jay and I were just chatting and said, gosh, what do our loan officers need? What do we need?
Yeah.
And this is really where this whole concept came from. I actually thought about this phrase, level up, about a year and a half ago. And for 28 years in my career, I intentionally every day just want to be better today than I was yesterday. And not just in my professional life, but in my personal life. And so I'm always thinking about leveling up, which is kind of how I coined this phrase. So it wasn't like we had a big, marketing team research. It just came from my head and my heart. And so here we are with our Level Up podcast. So Jay, I appreciate you so much and I value your time. And whenever I'm with you, there's something that just transfers from you to me. And I think most people feel that from you. And yes, you do very well in sales. And yes, sales is your thing. And you lead a lot of different areas. But there's one thing about you that I think is truly a blessing and a gift. And that is your ability to reset and come back into mindset. So today, I'd really like to explore that part of you because as we go through market cycles, life cycles, the ability to kind of take a step back, reset, take a breath. What do you tell yourself in difficult moments that help you from kind of that mindset perspective?
Well, I think mindset is key. And, I was a son of a basketball coach, and my dad talked about this powerful, idea of positive mental attitude. And so to me, everything starts internal, and we can't impact our external until we focus on our internal, just like we can't give to somebody what we don't already possess. And so when you talk about the mental side of things, that's paramount to me, and nothing supersedes, mindset. And I think that's the key to everything that we do each and every day and every aspect of our life. So when things go calm, I think, there's a storm or there's a challenge, I think the big thing is how can I get my breath back? Yes. And how can I come back to a moment? And I think the big thing that I always come back to is this isn't everything. And I try to compartmentalize the issue as a part of life. That doesn't mean it's not important. That doesn't mean I'm going to say it's an insignificant issue. Yeah. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. But try to de-escalate the magnitude of the moment, of the issue. Yeah. And I think you can apply that to a lot of different scenarios, but I know for me, as a former basketball player, when you have these pressure moments, you want to be in the moment. You want to go, hey, this is awesome. You dreamt of in the driveway, you shot, 3, 2, 1, you have these pressure situations, but you have to also get your cortisol down. You got to get your blood into a place where you can be in flow. And so I think it all comes back to just a perspective of, I'm going to take this one moment at a time. I'm going to take this one chunk at a time. What's the situation? How do I address it? How can I make an impact? How can I move the needle forward? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just trying to be intentional and also not allowing it to be bigger than it needs to be.
The word intentional is so important.
Yeah.
I think every single day, life happens so fast.
Yes.
That sometimes we just by habit go through life. We get up, we're getting the kids fed, we're getting them off to school, we're doing our morning routine or no routine. We're doing these things. We
Right.
go through this process every single day. And something I've really been working on over the last couple of years is truly being intentional with my actions, with my breath, and with my thought. What do I pour in? And so let's talk a little bit about intentionality. Chunk it down.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you said was really key is I believe one of our biggest problems and challenges is our thought. And I can, probably not now, but if I was speaking to an audience, I can prove to you that I can control somebody's thought. And you can see the amounts of money that's spent on marketing, controlling people's thoughts. And so this idea that every thought we have is true, every thought we have is reality, and that's the worst thing we can do. And so to me, it really comes back to our words and being intentional about this idea of if you look at ancient scripture, it starts with the word, right? And so we come back to, for me, it's looking at what are the words that I'm digesting? What are the words that I'm saying? And so being cognizant of a diet that goes into my mental space, right? If you're waking up and you're reading the news, and the news is geared towards raising cortisol to get your attention, you're starting your day off in a tough spot. And so when I think of intentionality, it's where can I control places and times of my day and create habits that are intentional but become routine, so that I'm setting myself up to kind of walk into work in a productive place. And that's been very helpful to just be able to create some diet. And diet isn't a restriction. A diet is what you intake, right? Like when you think about animals across the world, when you ask them what their diet is, that's not what we call in Western civilization as a diet. That's a restriction. A diet is what you can daily consume.
Yes.
And so thinking about what is your diet for your morning, for your mouth, but also for your ears and for your eyes and for your headspace.
On some level, I disagree with the diet being restrictive when it comes to the mind. Because if we don't guard against the ugliness that's in the world that's all over, so in that way, I will say, as I've gotten older, I am much more restrictive with what I let in. I'm not gonna feed into that. I just can't. Otherwise, it does become consuming, and it's just not where I want to be. Where I need to be in a place that I'm growing every day to be the best version of me, to do what God put me here to do.
Right.
And I'm looking for that.
Right.
So if I get off track, and not that I don't, because heaven knows I do,
Right.
And then I reset a lot. I just take a deep breath and catch myself more today than I did 30 years ago.
Right.
I was fiery in my 20s.
So I think for me, I just really like to always think about the words in the positive.
Yeah.
And so I think diet is a great word. If we think about it, what are we daily consuming?
Yes.
Instead of the diet connotation of I'm going on a diet.
No, yeah.
Right. And so I'm curious because I don't use it, and most people do that I talk to. And if you listen to many podcasts, almost all the podcasters, which we now are in this moment, most of them all subscribe to some form of meditation. Do you meditate in the morning?
I do. It's a struggle.
Okay.
I really struggle with it, the focus part of it. But this is why I say I'm working on this reset.
Yeah.
Because I used to just give it up and be like, oh, I'm not a meditator. I can't meditate. And now I'm like, you know what? I can meditate. Maybe it's for 30 seconds and then I become 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just use the Calm app. It's easy.
Yeah.
I also listen to the music on the Calm app when I'm working. There is different types of focus music and music for, deep thought and relaxation music. So I use it a lot. My husband laughs because he's like, this is weird music, but I can't do words or listen to music with words when I'm working. It's just my thing. So it helps me in a variety of ways, but Calm app is what I use. What about you?
I have, looked at that and, different coaches have recommended it. I just am not necessarily a morning person. So every time I've done meditation, I want to go back to sleep. So I wake up earlier than my clock would be, and my wife likes to go to bed at a certain time. So getting up early helps me go to bed when she likes to go to bed, which is earlier than my clock would be. So I definitely don't stay away from that. That's what I've kind of figured out works for me. That doesn't mean it's not a bad thing. But what I will come back to is some of the ideas around that in the middle of the day.
Yes.
Or if I'm feeling like really stressed. And I think that we can find different ways to do that. Like if I do a lot of calls, like walking my dog. So I'll go walk the dog. I bring her to the office, or even if I'm working from home. And I like that time sometimes just to be like, hey, I'm actually going to turn my phone off and I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to pray, but doing something, because it doesn't put me in a position where I'm like, I want to take a nap. And that's what I'm really trying to get, like, my motor running in the morning.
Yeah.
And so the morning routine, but if I do anything, like if I feel stressed in the morning, then I might pray, or maybe get back to like, hey, what can I read that's going to get me in a productive place? But for me, it's like, I got to turn my motor on. But what I've found it to be helpful is at the end of the day, like when I'm transitioning from going home.
Yes.
Where I think that's the one thing that working from home is my biggest challenge, is because I'll come off like dinner's this, or we're going to like basketball practice or something like that. So it's like 6 o'clock and I'll come pouring out of my office and I just got off like an intense call, or I was in an intense, trying to like figure out how to get this loan done. We get it done. And then I'm coming in with that same energy and everyone's like, whoa. And I'm like, what? And
what?
Yeah, that happens. That happens all the time.
I'm calling Jen.
Yeah. She will tell you like, dude, can you like chill out? Like before you, and that's the one thing, like if you do work from home, like the car ride home is helpful to like just have that like decompression time.
It's funny you say that. So last week I had one of those days, and towards the end of the day, I came out of the home office and I went in, and we're empty nesters now. Our sons are out of the house, and I could feel the energy I was bringing into dinner with my husband. And he asked me how my day was. And the old Kelly would have been, right, just all that. And there was something in me that said, you know what? It was a crazy day. Can you just give me 5 minutes? And I walked outside, and there's something about nature for me that calms me and settles me. And so I just walked outside. I walked around the backyard. I had my dogs with me. I looked at the sunset. I looked at the trees. I really just tried to get myself out of that momentum, that energy. And then I came back in and I was different. I was able to connect with him and be with him. And it didn't change what had happened in the day, but it changed. Just 5 minutes allowed me to reset into acknowledging he didn't need whatever I was bringing into the day. And I think, gosh, having been in this business almost 30 years, I cannot tell you how many times I have brought that into my family.
Right.
And not that they didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
So
those resets are so key.
Try to reset more and more.
Yeah. What are your kind of go-tos for reset?
Well, again, going outside is big. If you are in a place to go outside, I take my shoes off. I go stand, I get grounded. I stand in the grass or the dirt. I really I'm connecting truly. And the other thing is my mom passed 4 years ago.
Okay.
So, and she was truly sunshine. Like there was just this amazing light about her. So when I'm really stressed, I will go outside and look at the sun. It brings calmness to me. And I'm just like, okay, I got this, so that's a big connection point. But there's all different things in life, that you said something earlier that's important, I think, and that is everything we tell ourselves isn't always the truth.
That's 100%.
So if you're telling yourself a story and it's not truthful, but you're telling yourself the story, you've got to catch yourself. And then what we're talking about, Jay, find ways that you can pour in the goodness, because at the end of the day, we're all good on some level, but we all have challenges. We all have the mental demons, as I like to call them, every single one of us. It's learning how to differentiate the truth, which is really hard.
Right.
So let's dive into that. I mean, tell me about, you said it earlier, what lies do you tell yourself?
Oh boy, man, that's like a raw question.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I think I'm able to kind of course correct that pretty fast at this stage of life. But if I look at my overall career in our industry, or look at life, you have these situations of this is going to suck, or this is going to be a failure, or this is not going to work out, or this was a total waste of time, or I should have done something different. So I think probably the default one is shoulda, woulda, coulda. I think at this stage, and probably having, two good parents and having some early successes in life, I do come in with kind of like a pretty full bucket. But when I have mistakes, those can be really challenging. And so I think when there's failures, learning to be able to choose gratitude for them and embrace the lessons in them, and not get into like beating yourself up. Because I've definitely had those merry-go-rounds of when there is a mistake or there is a failure, to really beat yourself up about it. I walked into the mortgage industry with a lot of disappointment from basketball, because I left some basketball on the table and didn't reach some of these goals, and kind of didn't see that journey all the way through. So that's a long road to go down, but I really wanted to be able to overcome some of those regrets. And they're not regrets, but that's kind of what it is, but they're a scar that you get to learn from. And so learn those lessons and apply it to the mortgage industry. And there's these different moments where you can kind of come back to your past wound, your past lesson, your past failure, and go, hey, how do I apply what happened last time to this time?
It's a gift.
So I think those are just part of that journey, but I know for me, I definitely can play that shoulda, woulda, coulda lie, which is a really stupid game, because we have to live kind of like the car, right? The windshield is like 90% of our view, and the rear view mirror is about 5% of our view when we're driving our car. Yeah. And when we look backwards, we have a full, perfect idea of what happened. So sure, it's like saying, hey, don't you wish you could bet on the Steelers-Seahawks game, 20 years ago? Like, of course, but we all know what happened. So it's like, there's no fun in the bet in that. Or just like, hey, do you wish you could have bought whatever stock or Bitcoin, 20 years ago? Like, sure, like that's easy, but that's not how life works. And so we have to be able to say, what did I learn from that? What is the perspective that I can apply to this situation? And I think obviously as you grow up and you lose important people, you gain important people, like having kids, losing my dad, you lost your mom, like it puts things in perspective, right? And so that's like learning how to like compartmentalize a little bit. Like maybe it's like, hey, I just lost my dad. Yeah. So like I'm raw. And so this little loan file blip is causing me to act like really intense, because I'm kind of redirecting some of that energy. Sure. And sometimes it's like, what is that emotion that I'm dealing with? And you're kind of like thinking through that. I think an emotional skill is to be able to say, is that thought valid? Gosh. Is that thought fair? Yes. Does that need to be my reality?
Yes.
Does that need to be your reality? And I think that being able to differentiate between our feelings, which are valid and fair, and they're part of who we are, and we are emotional beings, but intellectually we can also say, hey, that's how we feel, but that's not necessarily true. And over time, if we put more skills in our emotional bag, then we can actually be emotionally intelligent, which has felt daunting to me, but it seems easy to build a skill.
It does. And like you said, these are just like, again, going back to intentionality, they're little things. It's not having to get your master's degree in psychology. Right. They're little things. It's breathing. Do you know breathing is a real thing?
Right.
Let's talk about that in another one of these episodes.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's a whole thing. And I breathe really light. So, okay, we're gonna scratch that. We're talking about that another time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we wrap up, Jay, for those that are tuning in, what's the top lesson today?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we're excited about this community that we get to invest in. We love Cornerstone. We love everyone here. And we just want to be able to provide some resources in a different mechanism. I love podcasts.
Yeah.
I know you do too. And so we just want to be able to give you some information that if you're working out, going on a walk, riding in the car, that we can provide some stuff from people that are in it with you and in the struggle, in the battle to grow and evolve. One little thought for today as we kind of kick off this podcast is just the concept of showing up. And we want y'all to show up and tune into the podcast, help us get better. I know you're going to show up every time, Kelly, to make me better. And so much of life is just being there.
Yeah.
Right. And being present. And that's like a whole podcast, but just this idea of showing up. And if we show up to a sales meeting, if we show up to a realtor call, if we show up to, the kids' soccer game, just being there makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
I was listening to a guy not long ago talk about how he changed his life. And he was really overweight. And what he did for the first 30 days is he set a timer, and the only discipline he had to do was to go to the gym. He didn't have to work out. He didn't have to do anything. He just had to go to the gym, and he set a discipline because he said that if I create the discipline of showing up, and that part of my day is just going to the gym, that I can actually build a habit of actually working out. And so the first habit in life is to show up.
So good. All right, we're done. That's a wrap. But honestly, on that note, there might be fear in showing up.
Absolutely.
And we really do want to encourage you to participate, to show up, to come on this journey with us, because this isn't about me and Jay.
No.
This is about us. And so wherever you are, whatever's on your mind, your heart, whatever you're struggling with, this is a community that we're passionate about creating to be there, to support one another. But the first part is you got to show up.
Absolutely.
I look forward to this, Jay. This is going to be so fun.
Looking forward to growing with you and leveling up myself.
Likewise. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in. Stay tuned for the Level Up Podcast. More episodes are coming your way.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, leave a review, and share how you're leveling up. Until next time.